Hello and good morning. Arab Rosh Hashanah here. One day till the Yom Adin, Judgment Day. Will this be the year of salvation? On a personal note, on a national note, on a world note, we don't know. But hopefully it'll be a good year for all of us. We're going to start from the top here in Vav Man Aleph. Rama Rava Meis B'Yom Tov Rishon Yisasku Ba'amam. We're on Beitzah Daf Vav. Beitzah 6. Rama Rava Meis B'Yom Tov Rishon Yisasku Ba'amamim. If someone dies on Yom Tov Rishon, on the first day of Yom Tov, we let Gentiles bury him because Malacha is prohibited midoraisa on the first day of Yom Tov. Kavod Abrios, burying a mace is only tochenis d'Rabbanan. So therefore, we let a mace do it. Amir la'akum is only d'Rabbanan. Mace Yom Tov Sheni is askable Yisrael. If he does Yom Tov Sheni, then Yisrael can bury him. Why can Yisrael bury him? Because we're dealing here with Yom Tov Sheni Shal Golios. Even if we're dealing with Yom Tov Sheni Shal Rosh Hashanah, it's still d'Rabbanan. It's only d'Rabbanan. So therefore, you can even do anything you want. It's only d'Rabbanan. Kavod Abrios is dochet. Masha'en came by Beitzah, which is not true by a Beitzah. A Beitzah, the more he's Afilu Yom Tov Sheni Yom Tov Shal Rosh Hashanah, even the second day of Rosh Hashanah, he's asking about Israel. Masha'en came by Beitzah. Beitzah is Aser, the second day. Like we saw before, that really a lot of Amoraim held that Beitzah on the second day of Rosh Hashanah, Yom HaRichta is Aser, even though it was born on the first day. Now, Amri Afa Beitzah, even Beitzah is mutter on the second day of Rosh Hashanah, like we saw some opinions before. For a different reason. You think, you might think they're going to make an Elul Ma'uber, right? Basically, we're worried again about the Edom coming from the Mincha Lamala, or that's really going to happen. Amar of Kinda Bar Kahana, Amar of Mimos Ezra Ve'elach, Masina Elam Uber. Ezra was the time of the beginning of the second Beis HaMikdash. We never found that Edom actually came after Mincha Lamal to make Elam Uber. Never really happened. It was a Milsa de Lo Shlicha. Since it's a Milsa de Lo Shlicha, we're not worried about it, and therefore it's not considered Yom HaRichta. The fact that we do two Yom Tovim Shal Rosh Hashanah is like a regular Yom Tov Shal Golios. Except the fact that in Eretz Yisrael it applies also. And therefore, it's only been Safek, and the Beit says mutter on the second day. Amar Marzutra, Amar Eladi Shtahi. When we said that you can bury him on Jews with Jews on the second day of Yom Tov or Rosh Hashanah, it's only talking about where the mace was Masriya, the mace is decomposing. You have previously waited time to bury him. But if we're not, he's not decomposing, then you wait till after. You don't bury him on Yom Tov Rishon. You don't bury him on Yom Tov Sheni. You wait till after Yom Tov. You're not doing this in the Rabbanon. Rashi argues and says even though he's not decomposing, it seems he would agree on Yom Tov Rishon. You wait till Yom Tov Sheni, but Yom Tov Sheni is like a chol, since it's only really a suffix. So therefore, we treat it like a day of chol. I feel lemegas leglima, lemegas le'as. Even the cut for him burial shrouds, or the cut for him myrtle branches, hadassim, in order to beautify his casket. That we do, even though these things are not really sorech hames, it's just to make it nicer. Burial shrouds is to make him look nicer, to make his casket look nicer. It's not really an essential need of the mace. Still, it's like chol, and therefore it's doche yisur d'Rabbanan. Amar Ravina va'ida dika chavrai chashina. Now we have this. Apparently, Ravina was around. Ravina was one of the Amoraim. He lived around, 300, 400 CE. Common Era, Christian Era, whatever way you say it. Most people don't know BCE. It's either before the Common Era or before the Christ Era. Because Christ was born after, I think, year number 4 after the Common Era began. I think AD also, Anna Dominia or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what it means, but the year from the Master, Jesus. Jesus was the master. I don't agree with that, but a lot of people think that. It's possible that Jesus was Mashiach ben Yosef. We don't know about that, but it's questionable in Chazal whether Mashiach ben Yosef is considered to be someone who's very good on a high level. He's just a little less than Mashiach ben David, or he's maybe the arch enemy of Mashiach ben David. Where in Sukkah says that they make a hesped and Mashiach ben Yosef dies. Sounds like he's a good guy. Who knows? Sorry, you need to look into that Gemara a little more. Maybe other people are making hesped. They don't know what's going on. All right. So the Gemara says, in that day, in the days of Ravina, there were people named Chavrai. They were Persian people. They were causing problems. They were making Klal Yisrael do Malachah. They had an excuse during Yom Tov. They got excused from doing work. So if they see that they're burying a mace, they'll say, "Oh, you can do work. So you have to do other work on Yom Tov Sheni. Therefore, you don't bury him on Yom Tov Sheni." Ravina Havayasef came to Rav Asi b'Shem with Hom Rosh Hashanah. Ravina was sitting in front of Rav Asi during the 2 days of Rosh Hashanah. Chazi deva atzev. He saw he was sad. Amalei, my atzev mar. Why you sad? Amalei, lo sivi erevi tefshilin. Now the 2 days of Rosh Hashanah were Thursday and Friday, and Shabbos was afterwards. You have to make Erev Tefshilin if you want to cook from Rosh Hashanah to Shabbos. So he didn't make an Erev Tefshilin, he forgot. Amalei v'lo sivmar ha'idna. He said, why don't you make it now? Milo Amar Rava on Thursday. Maniach adam Erev Tefshilin. Miyot l'chavero masna. You can make it tonight. You can say, if today is really Rosh Hashanah, then I'm not making the Erev Tefshilin today. And therefore tomorrow is Chol, and I'll make the Erev Tefshilin tomorrow. And if today is really Chol, so the Erev Tefshilin is a good Erev Tefshilin. And tomorrow's Yom Tov, so it's not worth anything Erev Tefshilin because it's Yom Tov. So you made the Erev Tefshilin for Thursday. So either way, Marashach, you have an Erev Tefshilin. But Rosh Hashanah is Yom HaRichta, so you can't make this tonight because both days are really Yom Tov, Medina, Lahalacha, Rabbanan. And Adai said, we're not Shnei Yom Tov Rosh Hashanah is considered to be like Shnei Yom Tov Shal Galios. It's misafik. It's not. It's a minhag I was saying b'yadeim. It's not real. So Adai said, Amar Lei Rav Mordechai here Shamar Limar the lo savar the had the Nehardai. Rav Ashi told more of Mordechai he doesn't hold of Nehardai, and he holds it's really Yom HaRichta. Itmar Efroach Shanol beyond a new topic. You have a chick that hatched on Yom Tov. Rav Amar Aser. Rav says it's no lud. You can't eat it or move it even. Shmuel Ivitema Rav Yochanan Amar Mutter, and they Shmuel and Rav Yochanan say it's Mutter. Rav Amar Aser Muksahi. It's Muksa. Shmuel Ivitema Rav Yochanan Amar Mutter. Hodel Matra Amatum B'Shchita. There's a unique heter over here. It's hard to explain this a little bit because when it's in egg, the chick, you can't eat it because it's considered Baal Shaksu. It's considered to be something disgusting. Now, when it's hatched on Yom Tov, so therefore it matir the Isra Baal Shaksu, according to Rabbanan, arguing Elazar ben Yaakov. Even if it didn't open his eyes, according to Rabbanan, it'd still be mutter to eat. Now you could shech the afroach and eat it. I know it's a little small chicken. I don't know how much meat there is on your afroach, but maybe it's the real pullet steak. The chick pullet steak. Pullet steak is a pargit in Hebrew. Pullet is a female baby chicken. Cockerel is a male baby chicken. Most people, when you go to a fancy restaurant, one of the items on the menu, if it's in English, is pullet. It doesn't say pargit. Maybe in Hebrew it says pargit. They usually don't serve cockerel. Afroach is a very small one. So since the matter is about the shaksus, therefore it matters along with it is like amigu. It's a hard svar to understand, but it matters the isser of muksa also. Amrle Rav Kahana Rav Asi Rav Chimav Nizal Egel Shnol Yom Tov. So they say to Rav, you asked her that Afroach that was born in Yom Tov. What's the difference between a calf that was born in Yom Tov? That we're going to see is mutter. Amrle ho y'all. Hey Menachem, come say hi to the camera, Menachem. Come, my brother-in-law. He walked into the Ezra's Nashim. He wanted to be part of this year. That's probably what really walked. There's an excuse that he took a Gemara here.
Hello. Good given shiur.
Who's the best Maggid Shir in the world?
Oh, that's a. Don't have to answer that. It's obviously.
Obviously, say my name.
Thanks, Elaine.
There you go. All right, I got a recommendation from my brother-in-law. So the Gemara says, a calf born on Yom Tov, that's considered mutter, even though it was nolad. Because technically you can shech the mother on Yom Tov, you're allowed to shech on Yom Tov. And there's a halacha of bein pakua, anything you find in the stomach of the mother, a fetus, right, or an animal that's waiting to be born, is considered mutter even without a shechita. So therefore, it's considered a part of the mother. It's like ochel de ifris, it's mutter. So Mar says, "Ma ben zela egel shnola min treifa." Treifa, a mother is a treifa, so we know also that the egel is born from it on Yom Tov. As long as it's not a treifa, we mutter to eat. Here you can't say the svara that it's muchan agav imo because the mother's a treifa. You can't shecht it; it's not kosher to eat. Shasik Rav, Rav was silent. I'm a rabbi with him, Rav Yosef. My time on Shasik Rav. Why was Rav silent? Right, the mother is not fit for human consumption, but you could shecht it or you could kill it and feed it to your dog, so it is muchan. So therefore, it's considered part of the mother animal, so it should be mutter. Amalei Abaye, hash the muchan la'adam lahavi muchan la'klavim. Abaye answers back for him. We know something which is muchan for a person is not considered muchan for dogs. It's not mechaskas adlu l'fnei behema, but it's an avail l'fnei klavim. Mishnah in Shabbos says you're allowed to cut gourds up very finely in front of an animal. It's not considered a tirfa. As an avela l'fnei klavim. An animal dies on Shabbos, you're allowed to feed it to the dogs. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, im lo yasan avela me'erev Shabbos asura l'fi she'enam namuchan. As long as it wasn't avela, if it wasn't considered dead, it wasn't dead for erev Yom Shabbos. So therefore, even though it was technically muchan la'adam, but it's not muchan la'klavim. So muchan la'adam is not considered muchan la'klavim because it has to be an avela me'erev Shabbos. It has to be fit for dogs at the beginning of Shabbos. It's fit for adam at the beginning of Shabbos, and not for klavim. So therefore, we say muchan la'adam is not considered muchan la'klavim. It's considered muksa. V'sheina min muchan. It's not muchan. Muchan la'klavim and muchan la'adam. So the Bible continues. Therefore, something which is muchan for klavim, which is the mother animal, the treifa, would also permit something to be muchan for adam, which is the baby inside. Amalei, and yes, you could say such a thing. Muchan adam, muchan klavim. There, it makes sense. Something which is fit for a person, he's not going to designate for his dogs. Something which is fit for a person, he's not going to give to his dogs. It's better, something considered more premium if it's fit for human consumption. So it's not designated for his dogs. It's muksa, muchan la'klavim, muchan la'adam. Something which is fit for dogs is also fit for adam. So therefore, the mother was a treifa, which is fit for klavim. It has something. It gives birth to an egel, which is not a treifa. So therefore, it's muchan la'adam. Because a person has in mind whatever is going to be fit for me, for the person, for the human, I want to have. So if somehow this muchan la'klavim turns into muchan la'adam, I want to partake of it. Tanya Gavasi the Rav, Tanya Gavasi the Shmuel. We have a Beitzah like Rav, a Beitzah like Shmuel. We came Rabbi Yochanan. Tanya Gavasi the Rav, Egel Shnel B'Yom Tov Mutter. Egel which more Yom Tov Mutter. Efroch Shnel B'Yom Tov Aser. Efroch is also like Rav said. My heifer Shmin Zel is that. What's the difference? Zeh Muchan Agavimo B'Shchita. Zeh Ena Muchan Agavimo. One is Muchan because you can shech the mother and eat what's inside. The other one is not. Efroch. It's not muchan at the beginning of Yom Tov. There's no emo anymore. The egg was already laid. Then it goes to the Shmuel, we have Rabbi Yochanan, we have a Beitzah like Shmuel in name and alternative to Rabbi Yochanan, Egel Shnel B'Yom Tov Mutter, Efroch Shnel B'Yom Tov Mutter, again it says Efroch is Mutter, my time. What's the reason both are Mutter? Zem muchan agim, Zem Mutter asam b'shchita. Like we saw the reason before, he says it's a heter because it removes itself from the Isser of Alta Shaksu, once it's born, so therefore it removes the Isser of Muksa also. Not Rabbanan, Efroach Shnel B'Yom Tov Aser. Efroach is born in Yom Tov Aser. Lezer ben Yaakov, like Rav. Lezer ben Yaakov Omer, Af B'Chol also. He says even during the week it's born, Efroach is born. If it didn't open its eyes, it's Aser. Fishel is Pathku Einav, because its eyes are not open. Come on, Azah Hadatanya, Chol Asheretz, Asheretz Al Aretz, the Rabbos Efroachim, Shalin is Pathku Einav. Raisa says that it's the end of the pasuk says it's bal teshachzu. Any sheretz, considered a sheretz, considered a creepy, crawly thing, and it's considered an abomination, disgusting if you eat it. It comes to include a chick which didn't open its eyes. Come on, Yaakov says once it doesn't, as long as it didn't open its eyes, it's considered disgusting. Amarav Huna Amarav Beitzah Imitziyasa Nigmara. He says it's kind of a cryptic thing over here. He says an egg, when it's laid, it's finished. Okay, so what does that mean? My Imitziyasa Nigmara. So the Gemara tries to figure out what does that mean. That as opposed to being found in the stomach of the mother, once it's laid, the egg, you could eat it with milk. Implying that if it was found in its mother's stomach, you shechted the mother and you found in the stomach the eggs, so then you can't eat it with milk. It's considered meat. You shech tarnagol and you found completed eggs which are fully formed. It's not considered meat. You can eat it with milk. So whereas a different shot. If it's born on Yom Tov, when it's laid, it's considered finished. You can eat it on Yom Tov. So the Gemara deduces, so if you found the egg and you shechted a chicken and you found eggs inside, so then it would be usher to eat on Yom Tov. It wasn't born yet. Ratanya, that's not true. The Beitzah says you could eat it on Yom Tov. Maybe you'll say our Mishnah argues on this Beitzah. This Beitzah is not really la halacha, and the Mishnah is cholik on this. It's actually said in the Mishnah. That's the machlokes in the Mishnah. If it's born, Beit Shammai says you can eat it. Beisil says no. They only argue if it's born of my iman, implying in the Mishnah that if it's found in the mother's stomach, the Evrei called Sharian. Everyone gets mother like this Beitzah. Maybe it'll tell me Beisil Aser in both cases, whether it was born or whether it was found in the mother's stomach. And why does it say only the case of being born to teach me the Chiddush of Beit Shammai that even if it's born, even if it's nolad, that feel nolad nami sharu, it's mutter. Ela hadatanya shoch it's arna golamatza beitzim gemuros. What about this Beitzah we just had that you shecht a chicken and you find hen and you find it had eggs that are finished. Mutaras la'oklam yom tov you get on yom tov mani lo Beit Shammai but lo Beit Hillel. It's not going to be Beit Shammai Beit Hillel because it's more of a Chiddush. Nolda, there's more reason to aser by Nolda. So this Beitzah is not going to be according to Beit Shammai. It's not going to be according to Beit Hillel. Because Beit Hillel we're saying that it's usher in both cases. It can't be Beit Hillel. And Beit Shammai we know when matir from the Mishnah we know they matir if it's nolad. So certainly they're going to matir where it's not nolad. It's found in the mother's stomach. Ella Yitziyasa Nigmara Megadela Sefrochem. So the Gemara is the third shot. Yitziyasa Nigmara means when it's born. Once the egg is laid, so then it has the ability to produce a chick, right? If it's fertilized by the male rooster, he fertilizes the hen, and so now you lay that the egg is laid. So if it's fertilized, that egg, it has the potential to develop into a chick. Most eggs are not fertilized, never develop into a chick, but if it's fertilized and undergoes the right conditions, the hen sits on it for a long enough time, so it'll eventually grow to be a chick. So the Gemara says, "My ima eina megadela sefrochem." Shmuel, welcome back.
Hi. Thank you.
We have 2 lines left, Shmuel. You made it back just in time for the meat and potatoes.
Oh.
We're actually talking about a chick. Baby chicks.
Ah.
Yeah. When you say chick, what do you think? What do you think of? What's the first thing?
Little yellow chick. Oh, you're thinking of that what do you call it? Fillet chick. I know you're thinking about that.
Chick-fil-A.
What is it called?
Chick-fil-A.
What is it called?
Chick-fil-A.
What is that?
It's a restaurant.
Restaurants, yeah. How do you pronounce it? Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, I think Chick-fil-A. Also, it's a reference to a woman. Chick.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
You need
Chicks dig the long ball. You know what that's a reference to?
No.
In baseball. Girls like women that hit home runs more than guys that hit singles.
Oh, really?
You know what a single is?
No.
You know what a double is? Triple?
triple,
You
quadruple.
ever, you
I
ever,
know,
you
I know.
ever, you ever watch that piece of Abbott and Costello?
Yeah.
Who's
yeah.
on first?
Which one? Frankenstein? When they meet Frankenstein, that's the best.
No. Who's on
And he
first?
says to him, he starts screaming, and he says, "What are you screaming about?" And meanwhile,
I
this
never
big-
saw anything of Abbott and Costello
or
except the
mummy,
who's on
or the
first.
mummy.
You never saw who's on first?
Yeah. Who's on first? Well, I know that
What's
one.
on second?
What's on second?
I don't know who's on third.
Right.
You like that? You like that piece?
I love it. I could. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
You play it on the
Kosher.
piano?
Piano?
It's not a song. What is it?
What is considered a grand piano? You know what a grand piano is?
A very old piano. Well, for grandmother, it's an old, Greek.
Grand piano is the one when they have the lid of the piano, 45-degree angle.
Yes. I've seen
It's a
it.
grand piano.
I think I saw Tom and Jerry once where he paid.
Or it's a piano that's played by Ariana Grande. You know what that is?
No, but they have grand apples here. They sell.
You don't know who Ariana Grande is?
How should I know these names?
She's one of the most followed people on Instagram.
Is she? Well, I don't
Number
follow
2
her.
or 3. You know who's number 1? People follow Instagram number 1 in the
Number
world.
one.
Also on Facebook. He's the number 1 followed person in the world.
I don't know.
He's a soccer player.
Shakespeare?
Shakespeare did not play soccer. He's a soccer player.
A soccer player?
Yeah.
Willie Randolph. No, he wasn't.
Willie Randolph.
He wasn't a player.
What baseball team did he play on? He was a baseball player.
That's a baseball player.
Coached the Yankees. I think he played on the Yankees also.
I don't know. Okay, this is getting. You're giving me just all this trivia, and it doesn't.
Well, I don't know your trivia. How are you going to play on Jeopardy? How are you going to win the big money on Jeopardy?
Jeopardy?
Who was the host of Jeopardy?
Will Schwartz. That I knew all the time. Right?
I don't think they even let you into the preliminary round of qualification for Jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
You think I would do good on Jeopardy?
I think you would do very well.
I do pretty good on Jeopardy.
I'm sure you could do Jeopardy on a game board or something. They must have it.
Popular cultural Jeopardy. I want the other stuff. I don't know how well I
You
would
have to
do.
know a lot of things.
You have to know a lot. These people know a lot of
These
stuff.
people read these big books on them. I don't know what they do the whole day.
Anyway, the most followed person on Instagram and Facebook is Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ah,
Who is from? Which country?
Beirut. I don't know.
Beirut is the capital of which country?
It's a cap. It is a capital.
It is a
or-
capital.
oh,
It's
I
a
thought
capital of a country next to Israel,
I thought it was
actually.
a country.
It's a country on north of
I thought
Israel.
it was a country. Okay.
Lebanon, okay.
Lebanon, okay.
Portugal.
Portugal.
Portugal is where from Ronaldo is from. He's a very good looking guy. He's a tall guy. He's one of the best goal scorers ever.
Wow.
Him and Lionel Messi are arguably 2 of the best players ever in the history of soccer.
Really?
Yeah, Lionel Messi is from which country?
Well, it sounds something African. Maybe if it's African, it
No.
probably is from somewhere.
He's white. He's short and white.
Wyoming. I don't know.
No, he's not from America. He's from South America.
Oh, sounds like- okay.
Argentina.
Okay, this is all.
All right, we gotta go. All right.
It's our
It was so sweet to be able to have you back and have a round of trivia with you.
Thank you.
I cherish that, and
You cherish laughing at my stupidities.
no, it's funny some of the answers you give because listen, you're a regular Haredi guy. You're not expected to know most of this stuff.
Well,
You don't have to be held accountable for this. Most Haredi people don't know anything about this. I know about popular culture, but most people don't know about it, so I have nothing to be faulted for. I mean, that's you're part of the system.
that's right.
No one knows anything about this. You know what the Maseches you're learning.
Except this principle.
Maseches Pruzbul. Pruzbul to which Masechta?
That's what we're doing today.
Louis, which Masechta is in Pruzbul? Is a Masechta medabrim al Pruzbul?
Gittin daf.
Gittin daf.
Lamed
Huh?
Zayin. Gittin daf Lamed Zayin.
Lamed Vav, I think. Gam Lamed Zayin. Right?
Wow.
See, I know this stuff also.
עכשיו אני
זה
יודע
מעניין.
שיש למד לגיטין דף למד זין.
You don't have any dapper in Gittin? Louis, kama dapper in Gittin?
עוד 91, שאני טועה.
I think it's 91 or 90. I think 91 is a small part of 91.
Okay, come.
Saudi
that's all
Al-
very good.
all right.
You know all these things. Wonderful.
All right, Shmuel. Okay, so maybe you can figure that the last line of the Gemara. Elim Yitzchak Nigmaram Gedelas Efrochim. If you cut open a hen and you have an egg, even though the egg was fertilized, it'll never produce a chick. What's the difference? Why is it in Pahalach important that it produces a chick? In order for business dealings. He asked eggs of a live chicken. Yavale Bay the shchuta, meaning of a live chicken, meaning that we're born. Cackling chicken, I think that's what meaning the eggs were born. Yavale Bay the shchuta, they ended up giving eggs that came from the inner, the part of the stomach of the mother that was shechta. Ask me the Rabami, I'm who mekach tosu v'hadar. He says the mekach tos goes back. It's not a good purchase. It's not fair because it can't produce chicks. Huh? In 1 second. Okay, he wants to big see him. Yeah, quick. All right, so see him. Maybe we can make a see him for a second. All right. Mekach tos v'hadar. It goes back. Pshita. In other words, it's partial. Of course, he asked for eggs of a live chicken, that were laid, and he gave him eggs that weren't laid. Maybe he really didn't want them to produce chicks. He didn't want to actually have chickens. He just wanted to eat the eggs. I had to come over to the pakia. Why do you ask of a live chicken, a cackling chicken? Because they taste better. Eggs that were laid from a hen and come out of the hen, they taste better.
Okay.
So the Gemara says, what's the difference? The meisvele beni. Kamashmalan. And therefore, you might think, what was the chiddush of Rabbi Ami? Rabbi says it's a mekach tos, and the whole purchase goes back. Because if it really just was, we assume he was selling it for eating purposes, right? So maybe he'll give back. Let's say it's a little the difference in price between eggs which taste good and eggs which don't taste good is not as much as the difference between eggs that could produce chickens and eggs that don't produce chicken, right? So therefore, maybe you'll think it's just la'achila and he has to give him a little bit back and not the whole thing. Mashmalan, that it's a mekach tos, he has to give him the whole thing back. That's Rabbi Ami. When you buy eggs in the store, you like to open them up and see chicks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
So let's say you crack open the eggs. You go home from Makolet. The grocery store, and you buy some eggs, and there's no chicks in there.
Oh.
You return them?
Yes, I would return
You
them.
return
I would
them.
definitely return them.
Okay, good.
Well, it's a mistake.
Let's say 11 eggs had a chick, but one did not. Would you return it then?
I would return what? One egg?
You would return the whole thing.
Oh, all the eggs?
Because you want brothers and sisters, right? You want the chicks to be brothers and sisters.
That's right. Yes. I would agree to that. I mean, each egg is different. Each egg is its own.
All right, we're going through Rosh Hashanah now. Everyone should mark Simlatova. We're saying mark Simlatova. Ksiva, Simlatova. How do they say it in the Yiddish world?
Good yor.
They say good yor. And what's that long phrase they always use? They alter.
Oh, oh wow, what's going on here?
Oh wow, see him. All right. Who's making the see him here? All right, Mazel Tov. Have a good day. Bye.